Well, we're here at Port City Raceway. Been here for 39 years. Aaron Lemons, the owner promoter, informs me. And today we're talking with Grady Chandler, the young gun who drives the Melmark Pipe and Supply Outlaw car. Grady, explain to us, what is an Outlaw micro sprint?
An Outlaw micro sprint is basically an open motor rule micro sprint.
Now, you started in micro sprint.
Yes. Started out when I was 5 years old running junior sprints. It started around August. Then when I turned 6 and my second year of junior sprint went on, we stayed more. And then ran the Pete Frazier here when I was 7. Then when I really turned 8, we started running port a lot more and was fortunate enough to win the Spring Fling, Firecracker 40. Couldn't get the Donwing Nationals done, but we won the preliminary night of the Pete Frazier, and hopefully I can get
So you have some wins of some special races in your portfolio. You aspire to be what in the next 5 years? What do you see yourself?
Hopefully in the next 5 years I can maybe move on to bigger and better things, maybe run some ASCS 360 stuff and get some sprint car experience. If I'm racing for a living, I'll be happy.
We'll go down and take a look at your race car here and learn more about. Well, here we are next to the Melmark Pipe and Supply number 00, driven by Grady Chandler. Grady, tell us about the race car.
What you're looking at right here is a 600cc multi-car, 14 square top wing, bigger common wings in the A-class.
Tell us about the interior. What are those controls and how does that operate?
Well, the interior part of the car, you can see we've got the pan handbar adjuster, which can make the car looser and tighter, and then the wing adjuster make the car looser and tighter, and also a shock adjuster, which will help the car through the middle of the corner, how I want it to feel. The electronic wing slider controls from back here. It's kind of hard to see the switch, but moves the wing up and down in the multi-class, and you can change the shocks and adjust your car, which you're not allowed to do in the A-class. This is a Micron. It'll tell you your lap times, temperature, and RPM value. All right, right here is your shock. You can adjust it, make it 4-1, which would keep the rear of the car up more, and 4-6, which would tie the right rear car down. This is the wishbone, brake caliper, your bird cage, which is a part of how it keeps the axle rolling. Then your pan handbar back here, it really adjusts the looseness or tightness of the car and how much it gets over on the right rear or the left rear.
How'd you learn all this?
My father has taught me a bunch of stuff this year. I've really been trying to learn how to set up a car on my own, but I'm still learning.
Grady, let's talk about car safety. And we're looking at the fuel cell on these race cars. Tell us about your fuel cell, what's inside.
Well, there is just major safety improvements with the fuel cell here lately. Some people back 2-3 years ago wouldn't even have a fuel cell, it would just be a fiberglass shell. But now they've developed foam and then the bladder, but as you crash, if the tank starts to crush in more, the bladder will just get smaller and smaller and keep it from popping. Very rarely will you see a bladder pop.
And that protects you from
just fuel leaking out of the car and mainly fire safety.
Now let's talk about your sponsors. It takes a lot of effort, energy from a whole lot of people to make one of these race teams successful. Who would you like to thank?
Starting out, I'd really like to thank Melmark Pipe Supply. I mean, they're the owners of my car and help us out with fuel sponsors, shocks, chains, help us out with really anything we need. Bishop Racing Components is a part sponsor. They also help us out on rebuilding the shocks. And they also rebuild all of our shocks around the car. And Guardian Tubular is also associated with Melmark Pipe and Supply. And Greenwood Bible Church, Kenneth Hagan is the owner of that church, and he's just been a good friend to us over the years. Well, with the Grady Chandler logo, my dad had actually had the logo given to him by a 360 two-barrel driver back in the 90s, I believe. And then the Racers for Christ deal is just kind of a religious deal that most of us racers have on the car. Well, with Melmark Pipe and Supply, once again, they really have done so much for us and just helping us fund with trailers, tires, the whole car, the motors. They really just do a very good job of helping us. In K&K Transportation, when I was 8 years old, they had seen me in a junior sprint and they decided to put me in a Bandolero asphalt car, which we had won the Texas Motor Speedway Championship in 2010. Pavement racing has really helped me out, just as far as dirt side. As much different as it is, it really helps you learn how to run the bottom of a racetrack and how to work the wheel very smoothly.
What's it like behind the wheel of one of these Outlaw cars?
Outlaw car, it really, cause I've ran non-wing and A-class some this year, but in Outlaw, you feel like you're at least going 10 to 15 miles an hour faster. Everything happens so much quicker, and I really like the Outlaw class because everybody races with such respect.
Grady, we're looking inside your Melmark Pipe and Supply Outlaw car into the driver's seat. This is the driver's cockpit, as they call it.
Well, the safety seat is LaJoy Seating. They have helped us out with seats over the years. This is one of the safest seats on the market. The foam insert, the seat was too big for me when we got it, and we kind of messed up on the insert so it doesn't look like it should. But the safety of these cars has really just improved over the last 10 years. I mean, the harnesses, the roll cages, everything is just so much safer than it was at one point.
Show us the harness and tell us how that operates.
Well, the harness, it's a 5-point harness, and you'll come down. These two will go over your hips. It'll connect, and this one will go up in between your legs, so it really just holds you in the car, and if you were to crash or something, you don't move in the seat at all.
Get a close-up of that. Look, that looks like aircraft type quality equipment.
Yes.
For like a fighter pilot.
Once it all goes together, here I'll put it together real quick.
Look at inside the cockpit of the 00 Grady Chandler's Melmark Pipe and Supply Outlaw Micro Sprint, and that is the harness. Now, in your family automobile, you just got a little thing that plugs in. Here, you know that that's fastened, and it's 5-way, so you got an anti-submarine belt in the front to keep it from sliding out from underneath that harness. Well, now about that steering wheel, they come off sometimes. Is that supposed to do that?
That has actually happened to me once, and that'd be the hardest crash that I've ever taken. I was coming off of turn 3 and 4, and I hit the wall and flipped over, and it ended up tearing up the chassis.
What's this 55 on your dashboard? I see that on a lot of the race cars out here.
55 dashboard is just kind of remind me of just Donnie Ray Crawford and just my religion and just how fortunate we all are.
Notice you have a crucifix here on the back of the roll cage to keep you safe. Right there. Well, we'll continue our interview with Grady Chandler. Grady, the Pete Frazier 14th annual memorial race coming up. How old are you now?
I turned 13 at the Donnie Ray Crawford Memorial, so just like 2 weeks ago.
In just a few words, what would it be like to be able to add that Pete Frazier Memorial first place trophy to your collection?
It would mean a lot to me. I mean, he's kind of the beginning of micro racing here in Oklahoma. It all started, this is the probably biggest place to run a micro in the whole nation right now. And I have ran second in that race. The 3 times that I ran second, it just really kind of crushed me a little bit because it just means so much to a little bit of everybody.
So the win has eluded you 3 times.
Yes. Possibly at the Pete Frazier Memorial, we might see the track take a little bit of rubber and grip up some more as the A feature goes on, but there's no telling what's going to go down. My top 5 pick, hopefully, me in first, Jason McDougall, Chris Andrews, and Kevin Baer and Ty Holsey.
Grady, best of luck to you.
Thank you.
I'll let you get suited up for tonight's racing action here at Port City Raceway.